Picture this. You pluck a guitar string and it hums a perfect, steady note. Now, what could possibly connect that simple, invisible vibration to a high-tech medical ultrasound, looking at a baby in the womb?
Well, the answer actually lies in the physics of repeating motion. And to truly understand it, you only need to grasp two fundamental concepts in one incredibly simple mathematical equation. By the end of this explainer, you will completely understand the concept of periodic motion, the mathematical formula that connects period and frequency, and exactly how to apply it to real-life problems. Here's our roadmap. 1. The rhythm of physics. 2. Defining period and frequency. 3. The golden formula. 4. Real-world applications. And 5. A quick summary.
All right, Section 1, the rhythm of physics, recognizing the repeating patterns around us. Let's start with a really basic physical phenomenon. Think about an object bouncing up and down on a spring, or that guitar string vibrating after you strike it. We call this periodic motion, and that simply means the motion repeats itself at regular time intervals. Each successive vibration or cycle takes the exact same amount of time as the one right before it. Whether you're looking at the pendulum of an old grandfather clock or a tiny vibrating atom, if the time to complete one cycle is constant, you've got periodic motion.
Moving right along to Section 2, defining period and frequency, time per event versus events per time.
Now, to measure this repeating motion precisely, we have to establish two specific terms that, honestly, students mix up all the time. On one side, we have period, which we represent with a capital T. This is the time it takes for one single event or oscillation to complete. Just think of it as time per event. On the flip side, we have frequency, shown as a lowercase f. This is the number of those events that actually happen within a specific time frame. Think events per time. They're two sides of the same coin.
Let's use a real-life analogy to test this out. Take a quick second to figure this out. If you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, what is your frequency of getting paid, and what is your period?
Got it? Okay, so in this case, your frequency of payment is 2 per month. You get 2 checks. The period, meaning the time between those checks, is half a month. This perfectly highlights how the two ideas are flipped. Frequency is how often. Period is how long between.
Okay, next look at Section 3, the golden formula, connecting T and F mathematically.
Now that we've got the basic concept down, here is the golden mathematical relationship between the two. Frequency is equal to 1 divided by the period. They are exact mathematical inverses of each other. If you know one of them, you can always find the other.
But wait, to actually calculate this, we need standardized units. The standard SI unit for frequency is the Hertz, abbreviated Hz. 1 Hertz literally just means one complete oscillation per second. So if something happens 50 times in 1 second, wow, its frequency is 50 Hertz.
Now, I hear this question from students all the time. Wait, does the time actually always have to be in seconds? And it's a great question, because sure, a period can technically be measured in any convenient unit, milliseconds, days, years, whatever. But the answer is yes. You absolutely must convert it to seconds if you want your resulting frequency to be in standard Hertz. That's a super important rule to remember.
Let's put this into practice. Section 4, real-world applications, calculating ultrasounds and musical notes.
Imagine a medical imaging device that produces an oscillation with a period of 0.400 microseconds. What's its frequency? Well, step 1, we identify our given period, t. Step 2, remembering what we just talked about, we have to convert those microseconds into seconds. So that becomes 0.400 times 10 to the negative 6 seconds. And finally, step 3, we solve using our golden formula, F equals 1 over t. When you divide 1 by that incredibly tiny fraction of a second, your resulting frequency is 2.50 times 10 to the 6th hertz. That's 2.5 million hertz. That is way, way beyond the highest pitch human ears can hear, which is exactly why we call it an ultrasound. Those lightning-fast oscillations make it absolutely perfect for safely, non-invasively diagnosing a baby in the womb.
Now we can also flip the formula around to solve for period, making it T equals 1 over F. Let's compare our ultrasound with that vibrating guitar string we talked about earlier, specifically playing a middle C note. Middle C has a known frequency of 264 Hertz. So if we divide 1 by 264, we find the period is 3.79 times 10 to the negative 3rd seconds, or basically 3.79 milliseconds per cycle. Pretty cool, right? Okay, wait, this is important.
Let's do one more quick check to make sure you can handle tricky units before we wrap this up. Try to find the period in seconds for a human heart rate of 150 beats per minute during a really tough workout. Think carefully about how you're going to convert those minutes into seconds.
Here's how you do it. First, you convert the frequency. 150 beats per 60 seconds simplifies down to 2.5 beats per second. So 2.5 is your frequency in Hertz. Then, we just divide 1 by 2.5 to find the period. Turns out, at that pace, your heart takes exactly 0.400 seconds per beat.
Almost done. Section 5. Summary and final thought. Wrapping up the core concepts.
Here is your final checklist. Remember, periodic motion is simply motion that repeats at regular intervals. The period, t, is the time per single event. The frequency, f, is the number of events per unit time. And the absolute most crucial takeaway, they are always mathematical inverses of each other, forever linked by the simple equation F equals 1 over t.
Now that you've got these basics locked down, you can tackle some incredibly complex mechanical questions. Like, if a race car engine emits a 750 Hz sound, how fast is that car actually moving down the track? Believe it or not, you can calculate a vehicle's speed purely from the frequency of its engine sound. And that is exactly the kind of fascinating physics problem we're going to explore in our next explainer on simple